Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another live stream Q&A. I'm just going to wait for some people to get in here, do an audio check. Just a heads up, I'm definitely under the weather. At least it's starting. You could probably hear it in my voice. So I'll probably do maybe 15, 20 minute, maybe half an hour live stream, depending on how many questions come in and all that kind of stuff. So outside of that, hopefully everybody is doing well. Yeah, it's freezing cold outside. Unbelievably cold. It was nice the other day. It's coral shipping weather, and now it's not. So, but yeah. So whenever we get going here, let me just double check to make sure it went live, and we should be good. And YouTube has it up. Okay, cool. It popped up on my end there. Alrighty. Now, daylight savings time, is that today or is that tomorrow? Because my clock seemed to be fine, but yeah, I don't know if it was today or not. I have to check and see. But yep, cool. All right, now it did show up on YouTube. All right, cool. No notification, but that's all right. It's been a little while, so it's probably since I was gone for what, a month, 6 weeks. It takes a little while. I did notice that a while back when I took some time off. I came back, and then it took like 2.5, 3 weeks before notifications came up because I subscribe on my other phone just to see if they come up. And it took about 2.5, 3 weeks before they started showing up again. So I don't know, maybe algorithm stuff, who knows? But outside of all that, hopefully everybody's doing well. What's up, Jack? What's up, guys? Adrian, blessings. What's up? Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in. Outside of that, the veterans video is done. I'll have that go live for you guys tomorrow or Tuesday. I have my ICP test, which I just actually I got the ICP, the ATI ICP test back the other day. So I went through and made some adjustments to the reef tank based on that. My Trident's been being a huge pain in the ass lately. I don't know what's going on. So I just got that thing replaced. So it's like test B's failing again. I went through and cleaned out all the lines and did everything. It's still failing. It's just, I don't know, man. Trident is great when it works, but when it doesn't work, it's huge pain in the ass. But yeah, speaking of pain in the asses, I have these Mexican turbo snails that I've had back in the 125. They're probably the size of baseballs up to softball size. They are massive. I have like 10 of them in the 300. I'm slowly going in and removing them at night because that's the only time I can get them to get on the glass at night. So I'm removing them and put them in my refugium, and I will be selling those. So if you guys are interested in these massive turbo or Mexican turbo snails, let me know. The reason why I'm getting rid of them is you'll see when I do the update on the 300 that I have a lot of different stuff on the bottom glass, and these jokers are just moving around, moving all my stuff around, knocking the Lobo into some acroporas. And I mean, they're great snails. They do. I mean, they're so old. They're what, 7 years, 8 years old, these snails. They're massive though. But they just keep moving stuff around. So keep that in mind if you are interested in them. They will move your stuff around a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna go down and get some more tonight. So what's up, guys? Hey, I'm seeing people are just getting in here. Appreciate you. Let me I keep clicking on the wrong damn thing. 1 second. What's up? Hey, Travis, can't wait to get the frag rack and Hannah checker wall mounts. Yeah, actually, I'm not that far behind on orders. The issue that I'm having right now is getting filament in. I've been buying bulk filament, but the stuff is shipping every 2 weeks. I don't know what it's got to be with everything going on with just the economy and all the stuff that's going on. I can't pinpoint it, but I used to be able to get it in 3 days. Now it's 2 weeks out. So I've been having issues with getting Pet G in, black Pet G. So I have an order coming in on Tuesday, thankfully. But yeah, everything else, it seems to be, I'm getting caught up pretty well. It's just, man, I don't know what's going on. It is what it is at this point. But yeah. Do you recommend fiddler crab? Oh, sorry about that. Fiddler crabs. I want crabs, but they are easy to care for. I've never even heard of those. Let me look them up, man. Jennifer, I don't want to give you advice on things that I know nothing about, but maybe if I see a picture of it, I might. Maybe I've dealt with them before. Let me look. And by the way, if you guys are just getting in, I am getting sick. Oh, these things look pretty cool. They look mean though. They look like they could be some jerks. Are they reef safe? I mean, I'm assuming you already did your research on that. Let me see. Reef safe? Question mark. They don't look reef safe. These small reef safe crabs. Okay. Just 50p size, including the legs. Huh. Well, excuse me. They look pretty cool. I would say give it a shot and see what it does. I mean, with any crab, just like with any kind of shrimp, or yeah, the red shrimp, whatever it is. They sometimes they say they're reef safe, and then you turn around and the joker's eating your zoas. So just keep an eye on it. But they look pretty cool. Do you use an algae scrubber? Are they any good? Clear water scrubbers are darn expensive. Well, scrubbers in general are super expensive, man. Like they just are. I don't know if it's the price of acrylic or just the fact that people can up the price on stuff just because they can. I don't really know. Um, but I have used algae scrubbers in the past. They work fine. I'm more of a refugium kind of guy, but I wouldn't be opposed to using the algae scrubber in the future. They're definitely part of, if you like gear and you like that kind of stuff, yeah, they work. Um, but it's always, you kind of want to get one that you can, I don't know, if you can see through a little bit to see how the algae is growing, because sometimes if you're not paying attention, you might not realize what's going on. You might have like slime or stuff growing in there, or you might not realize that you need to clean it. So I like the models where you can actually look in to see how the algae is doing. But of course, the goal is to keep as much light trapped in there as possible. But you can do DIY algae scrubbers. You can do the Chaeto reactors. Those are really cool. I made those before. I actually really like those. And those type of things are really great. But again, personally, I'm more of a refugium guy. Just I don't know. I just Chaeto and a refugium is just so easy. The maintenance is like, oh, let me pull some out, kind of thing. So whatever works for you. But they do work though. Still no shipping to the Netherlands. Well, I am gonna. The only thing I'm shipping overseas are the CO2 attachments, and I'm actually gonna make one listing on eBay that has all the models on it. If I can, I'm gonna try to do that, and then you guys can just select the model, because I ended up putting up 90 different listings on eBay, and then they got like flagged, and I couldn't ship some of them. Some people couldn't order them. I was like, man, and eBay's like, yeah, we don't know. We don't know why it did that, but you have to redo the listings. I'm like, you realize how long it took me to put up 90 some on listings on eBay? So I'm probably going to make one or two listings, and then just you guys can select your model on the drop down. I'm going to see if I can do that. But yeah, that's the only thing I'm shipping overseas right now are the CO2 attachments. I might consider doing other stuff. If you're looking for something else, Jack, let me know. Oh man, I don't mean to yawn in your guys' ears, man. It's been a day, and it's freezing cold outside, which is awful. I was literally just about to ask you your thoughts on Trident long term. The Trident works. When it works, man. But when it doesn't, it's stupid. Like for example, I've been getting. So I have the Hannah checker. So if I feel like my Trident's being weird, I'll just keep testing with my Hannah every day, just to make sure my alkalinity is stable. I'm not too much worried about calcium or magnesium at this point. I can just they're not the huge deal. It's more my alkalinity. I'm adjusting my mic 1 second. But yeah, so basically I was getting 7.5 to 8 readings pretty consistently throughout the night and in the morning. But then when it tested at noon and then it tested at 6 p.m. again, the readings would be up at 10 DKH or 12 DKH. I'm like, that makes no damn sense. But then when I would double check with my Hannah checker, just because the reading was off, it would be at like 8. So it did that for a while. I'm going to order some more reagent. I just took the Trident apart yesterday and cleaned out all the tubes. Flushed them all out like they say to do. Double check the fittings, refit all the tubes in there, make sure nothing was kinked. The only thing that I'm using on it right now is I do have some older reagent from last year that I'm using, so maybe that's the problem. But again, it tests fine overnight and throughout the morning, but as soon as noon comes or the 6 p.m., it's like 3 DKH higher. No, that's and then of course I'm like, well, that can't be right. So I double check with a hand, and of course it's at like 8. So yeah, I don't know. I've been looking around and kind of see. I'll probably put a ticket in after I'm gonna buy new reagent. I'm gonna calibrate it, and if it does it again, then I'm gonna have put in the ticket and have them work on it, because I just spent what $200 to get that thing replaced. Yeah, not really happy with that, but it is what it is. It's moving parts. It is what it is. Hey Travis, I know you use KZ Vitalize with Coral Snow. Do you know if you can mix multiple things into Coral Snow at the same time, or should you split it up? I would keep everything split up. I haven't used that stuff in a long time. I don't know if they've changed any of it, Clint. But when it came to the KZ stuff, I always just dosed it individually. I didn't mix anything together. I just the system, unfortunately, I didn't get to have it very long, which really sucks because I had it in the closet. If you guys remember that crazy closet I used to stand in and do my videos, that was that was 7 years ago. That's crazy. But 6 years ago, something like that. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to have that system very long because I ended up flooding and electrocuting myself, and then I had to go to the VA. That was fun. But yeah, so I would just keep them. I just keep them split up if I were you, just because I don't know enough about it or haven't used them long enough to give you another answer than that. I have one of those snails. Are huge. Yeah, man. These Mexican turbo snails are massive, man. They're great. I mean, I can't believe how long they live, but they're so damn big. So I'm catching them slowly, and if you guys are interested, let me know. I'd be happy to sell you one. I prefer if you're locally, but I don't mind shipping. They're just snails. They're not a huge deal. When you initially switched to calcium reactor from 2-part, did you notice better growth with more consistent supply of alkalinity and calcium? Okay, so when I started, so I used 2-part on the 125. I don't know if you remember that, Mike, but on the 125, I used 2-part and I used Kalkwasser. And then when I started the 300, I never used 2-part. I initially started the setup with a calcium reactor. But I'll tell you straight up that the calcium reactor seems like I had more stable. Not only was it stable in my alkalinity, supply, there wasn't as many fluctuations. But the issue that I had with the 2-part was that I was dosing so much 2-part to that 125 that I was having issues with my salinity. Basically, I would have to do water changes at 1.024 to make up for the fact that I was at 1.027 or 1.028 with dosing so much 2-part. I think I was at 260 milliliters at one point. Every couple weeks, there was so much. There was so much. Or sorry, it was 260 some odd milliliters a day. Sorry. And then that equates to, what is it, 3,000 milliliters in a gallon. So you just do the math. I was burning through a lot, a lot. I think a couple of gallons a month on 2-part, which is fine. But when you're dosing that much salt, it becomes an issue. But outside of that, when I started the 300 with the calcium reactor, I didn't have any issues, of course, with salt because that's not how the calcium reactor works. The steady supply of calcium alkalinity is really good with the calcium reactor. Plus, you get the trace elements and all that stuff from breaking down the media. Now, I will tell you, I did have better growth, I think, when I was using the reborn media. When I switched over to this other stuff, it could be the switching over. It could be me not paying attention to the tank or whatever. But I felt like reborn was just kind of the better media that I've used in the past. But yeah, so I can't get it right now anyway. So. Do you dose exact amounts of ALK and cal? For my system, ALK is 5 milliliters less than calcium to stay stable, 45 to 50 accordingly. Well, I've always believed, and this is my opinion. I mean, you could dive into research on it. When I first started my 125, I did a lot of research on dosing 2-part and how corals consume SPS corals, how they consume calcium alkalinity. From what I was told, it was always they pulled out 1-part alkalinity, 1-part calcium to build their skeletal structures. That was what I was told. Now, over the years, people have hooked that stuff up to the dose on the Apex, and based on the Trident, they would dose a certain amount of calcium alkalinity to keep it stable. I'm still a strong believer in dosing equal parts. I think that as long as your alkalinity is stable, who really cares where your calcium's at? Of course, there's going to be major extremes where precipitation could come out, but if you're at 9 DKH, which is usually a safe number for alkalinity, and say your calcium is 480, who cares? Or even 500, who cares? Right? Ideally, 420, 440 would be the best, but who cares if it's higher? It's not a big deal as long as you have enough magnesium to keep the alkalinity and calcium particles, separated in the water column. I think you're going to be fine. So for me personally, I've always dosed the same, equal parts of both, and I've never had any issues with it. Nothing at all. And I'm sure there's research out now. I'll have to go diving into it and looking, but because I don't dose 2-part anymore, I haven't really dove into any other thought process than what I know. So for me personally, equal parts. It's just kind of the way it is for me. Do you recommend freshwater eels for 10-gallon tanks? I don't eels that get too big. Freshwater eels. I haven't had a freshwater eel in years. I'm not really a freshwater eel fan. I do like saltwater eels. I think freshwater eels are kind of ugly looking personally, but I wouldn't put an eel in a 10-gallon tank. Matter of fact, I'm not really a big fan of having a 10-gallon tank. Period. I don't think you can get away with really anything when you have water volume so low, especially if you were doing salt water. It's just you're setting yourself up for failure unless you got to, you're taking care of your ATO and all that kind of stuff. So, um, so for freshwater, I wouldn't put an eel in a 10-gallon tank. I don't think that's a good idea, regardless of the size. What's your TDS reading? What do you mean, like from my RO system? It's 0 TDS, and then I just confirm with the ATI RO testing that I have nothing in there, as in nothing bad. So of course 0 TDS. Is that what you mean? Always 0. It's time to this time slot. This time slots suck for me, but raising my PO4 NO3 has helped my cyano and dinos. Damn, they are persistent though. Yeah, well, cyano, man, just go ahead and get your chemi clean. That will knock out the cyano. Just do that, and then your dinos. I think we talked about this too. Yeah, so getting your NO3 and PO4. Yeah, you sent me a sample. Yeah, manual removal. Get the nutrients up. Also, try some stuff like EcoBalance. Beneficial bacterias will help because you really cyano and dino, they're a nuisance bacteria essentially. So having the beneficial bacteria and the microbiome and all the kind of stuff that build that that the microscopic like foundation for your reef tank. It's always good to have that stuff. And I'm a pretty big believer in dosing bacterias. I mean, I do EcoBalance. I do it once a week. Right now, I think I'm doing 100 milliliters of it. Just because I like to have those beneficial bacteria. So ChemiClean will take care of the cyano for you and get your nutrients up, and consider some good bacteria should help take care of that. What's up, Travis? My old diamond goby depleted all the microfauna in my sand bed, and there's some algae on there now. Any experience with Aquaforest, Life Source, or any other light products to help replenish? I've never used them before. I have heard good things about that though. Yeah, if you can, even if you wanted to dose pods and stuff like that, that might not be a bad idea. Maybe consider dosing some Phyto. Phyto helps feed a lot of that microfauna and stuff like that. It might help, helps, increase the growth of those things. So consider doing Phyto. And yeah, if you want to try that, do some pods, do some of that. And yeah, tell your goby to get on a diet, man. Stop messing shit up. But yeah, that's why I usually don't get one of those unless you have a massive sand bed. I was gonna get a very small one for the 40 breeder, and I was like, no, that dude would go through, wipe out the entire tank. Just, I mean, it's great. It keeps the sand clean, right? But he would just wipe everything out real quick. What Chaeto reactors are you speaking about that works? And for any examples? I make my own Chaeto reactor. I have a video on it too, and it worked really, really well. I just used the what was it? It was like a biopellet reactor or something. Reef Octopus biopellet reactor. I'll have to check the video. It's some LED strips off Amazon, and that thing grew a ton of Chaeto. It was really nice. I had it on I think a 32 BioCube. Pretty much, I was feeding it with a MaxiJet pump. Pretty sure, but yeah. I mean, I like to make my own. I don't really know of one off the top of my head, like a brand wise. I just making your own is fine. Plus DIY, that's always fun, right? Hello, what's up, everyone? Also put my UV in the tank instead of in the sump. Yeah, UV is definitely helpful for that. Just keep it running. Yeah, for sure. Man, I'm telling you, the kids go back to school, allergy season. I got a feeling it's coming already, but man, I'm about done being sick. I gotta roll in the morning. I got class at 8 and then a rolling at 9. Then I got to go to the dealer in the afternoon for the SUV. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to put them in. If not, I'm probably gonna hang out for like 5 more minutes because I don't want to be hacking in your ears. It's not very nice. But yeah, so I got the trying to move my. Come on over here. I'm actually so the veterans video will be out on Monday or Tuesday. I have my ICP test video out for you guys. I got a couple other ones planned for this coming week. Yeah, I'm trying to go through all the requests that you guys have asked regarding you know, I got to do an update on the food for you. There's just so much stuff I got to try to get out. It's just a huge list of stuff. Phytoplankton and pods, the genius, your genius. Yeah, thanks, man. Actually caught a diamond goby by luck. Yeah, no, yeah. The phytoplankton will help grow that stuff pretty quick. Plus, your corals appreciate it too. I'm actually going to start growing phyto again. I miss growing that stuff, and I could use the excess nutrients. I'll tell you right now that I've stopped using filter socks, excuse me, filter socks, I'm having a hell of a time keeping my nutrients up. I think my filter socks are just rotting everything in them because I wasn't cleaning them, really helped keep the nutrients. But now everything's just getting sucked out with the skimmer. And I mean, I feed a ton of food. I'll do a video of the fish feeding because there's just so many fish in there. A ton of food every day. And I'm still just, I'm all right. I'm at 0.08 of phosphates, which isn't horrible. And I'm at 0. I'm at, I just got off 0 of nitrates. I'm at 3 ppm of nitrates, and I'm feeding a ton of food. So maybe I'm just put filter socks on just to keep my nutrients up. I don't know. Probably not a good idea. But yeah, do you have the CO2 connection for MaxiJet skimmer 600 max spec skimmer? I'm pretty sure. What CO2 scrubber can I use for this? Max spec? What are you talking? I don't know. Let me check. I don't know. I got a ton of them on there. Max spec 600. Are you sure that's the name of it? That doesn't sound right. Max spec skimmer. Let me look. Max spec. Let's see what I got. I have a max spec Duo AD 600. Yeah, I mean that's like, man, people bought a ton of those Duos AD 600s. If that's what you mean, yes, I have that. That was out of all the skimmer attachments I've ever made, out of the 100 or so that I have on the website, that was the biggest pain in the ass, that skimmer, because it was like molded around the wrong way. Man, it was such a huge pain. It took me forever to get it done. I feel bad for the guy who dropped it off. How clean do you keep the bare bottom? I think my tank is too clean. I keep getting cyano every 2 months or so. Nitrates show 0. Hano checker. Should I add nitrates? Okay. My bare bottom tank, every 2 weeks I do a 35-gallon water change, and I siphon out as much. So I take a little metal, I'll show you guys in the video, but I take a little metal tongs and I kind of go around the edges of all the rock structures, getting out all the gunk and whatever sand. I go through and siphon out everything. So that's pretty much the extent when it comes to the bare bottom. I have 4 MP40s on there, and then I use 2 wave pumps. So there's like 30,000 gallons of flow at any given time in the tank. So really, there's not many places in the tank where it really collects detritus. So, and now that I'm not using filter socks, I mean, the stuff goes into the sump and kind of collects in the bottom. So now during my water changes every other week, I'll also clean out the sump, just because, again, all the stuff, it collects in the sump that doesn't get picked up by the skimmer, and the return section as well, and the refugium. And yeah, so if you're testing zero nitrates consistently with your Hannah, then yeah, you should probably start feeding more. About to yawn. Start feeding more, or you can dose them. I do sell them on the website. Pretty popular. Actually, one guy just bought like 4 gallons the other day. Crazy stuff. That's a huge pain in the ass to ship too. Boy, it's just super heavy. But yeah, so you can dose them if you're at 0, or you can just try to feed more. That's fine. Remember, a lot of you're going to get more nitrates from like natural like shrimp and squid and that kind of stuff, like those natural foods. You're going to get more phosphates from green types of foods like nori and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. A lot of pellet foods have a lot of phosphates in it. So just keep that in mind when you're feeding. But yeah, so you can feed more, or you can dose it. Cheaper route is probably just to feed and see what happens. And go from there. Do you think all for reef is worthwhile, even though there is slight delay in formulate process? That's the issue I have with it. It's not something that I would use because of that delay in the formulate process. But outside of that, I think I'd give it a shot at some point in a smaller tank, something that didn't have coral, like so much coral in it, like, you know, that I could potentially lose and, you know, not be able to sell, kind of thing. But if I was doing a test tank, I'd give it a shot. I think the idea is really cool. I think the fact that you dose one thing, and plus you can add I think you can add their trace elements and all sorts of shit to it as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think the idea is pretty cool. I just don't like that delay. The delay is what concerns me about it. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm nitpicking, but yeah. Excuse me. Man, I'm about to get off this thing. I can't breathe. I keep hacking. How do we buy the snails? You can hit me up hit me up via email. I haven't put them on the website yet. Hit me up on the email. Let me know how many you're interested in. I'll come up with a price. I don't really know what they're worth. Um, as long as they're going to a decent home, I'm not going to charge a shit ton. But and then you'll have to pay overnight shipping as well. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I think. Yeah, let me see over here. Yeah, there is no pH benefits all for reef. I noticed that as well, or at least from what I was reading. But then again, you can get your pH benefits. You can do Kalkwasser, which is always nice. I do a mixture of calc and I do the calcium reactor. So I do both. The only issue with Kalkwasser is you have the phosphates kind of get sucked up via the Kalkwasser, and then you end up bottoming out your phosphates. So if you're really low on phosphates, Kalkwasser is probably not a good idea. So, but yeah, I hate to cut this live stream short, guys. I just I don't want to be hacking in your ear, and I got to get some stuff done. But I appreciate everybody showing up. Again, the video for the reef tanks will be out Monday or Tuesday. I have a couple more. I'm gonna show you guys some new pump guards. There's a whole bunch of stuff I got to show you. We're gonna start doing our daily Q&A again once I get back in here. Speaking of stuff, I gotta let Gio know, but I was going to be going to Reefapalooza next month in Florida, but I'm not going to be able to go. I have a fight on the 22nd. So yeah, that's the weekend of Reefapalooza. So I'm actually going to be in Philly and hopefully bring home another gold medal, which would be nice. I got to cut some weight for that, like 20 pounds. So, that's how it is. YOLO dieting. But yeah, so I got a fight on the 22nd, so I'm not gonna be able to go to Reefapalooza. But I might see if there's some local shows or something around here I can go to, meet you guys, and kind of hang out. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's see what this guy has to say. What's your go-to wave makers on a 5-foot, 220-gallon tank, lights tank, 30 inches high? Well, I'm a big fan of MP40s. The gyres are pretty cool. They're kind of loud, but I mean they work for sure. I do like I'm going to give you guys a 6-month update on these wave pump, the Apex wave pumps. They're actually pretty cool. The way I got them set up with the MP40s, there's a ton of flow in that tank, and they seem to be pretty cool. So the only issue I had is they were buzzing at one point, but I think it was just the programming. So MP40s, MP60s would be good. I think for a 225 foot, yeah, I would do 4 MP40s if you got the money. If you don't, then I know that Jabo still makes pump, and the Nero 5s move a ton of water too. If you're on a budget, I mean, they're cheaper than the MP40s, but yeah, I mean, I've had success with all of those wave pumps. Yeah, my Jabos just kind of started taking a dump, so I replaced them because I didn't want to keep dealing with that stuff. So yeah, thanks, bro. Hope you win. Yeah, I hope I win too. Listen, I go to win, but I enjoy competition. I'm always fighting the same people all the time. I mean, I love when new people come to the gym. And I love rolling with new people. I mean, I love everybody there. I don't mind rolling with the same guys, but I like the unexpected. I like somebody I know nothing about. No, I don't know anything about them. And it's always interesting to see how they are when you're rolling with them. So I look forward to that competition wise. Just a little bit more aggressive, obviously, for, fighting purposes. You farming anything you weren't before? I grew the ever living crap out of your 15-pack SPS from a few years ago. Well, let me know what you got, Sammy, because I killed off a ton of coral. Being a bum, like I could use some millies back. I could use some WWC yellow tip back. I could use I can use some bird's nest back. I could use some stylophoras back. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I used to have in those packs that I killed off. Panopy bird's nest, torts. I killed off a ton of stuff, and and it's my fault too, getting distracted with life and everything, and not paying attention. It just it sucks. So, but that's it, guys. I appreciate everybody being here, and I'll see you tomorrow or Tuesday with another video. All right, peace.